Now it's time to move on to the session 2. So we are gonna have 3 speakers for session 2. So our first speaker in this session is Professor Tae Lee at the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering at KAIST. He introduced and led KAIST initiative for 4.0 education innovation while serving as Dean of Education and also Dean of Library and Information Systems. He gave numerous keynote speeches and invited talks on 4.0 education. For his long contribution to education innovations, he received a very prominent award last year, Link Genesis, Best Teacher Prize, given to the most innovative teacher at KAIST. Today, he will share with us his vision for the future of education. Hello, Professor Lee.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to make some suggestions for our education. So, we have had some strong beliefs on our education, okay, and online learning. We are now realizing the truth. Okay, we have some the myths on our education. For example, the lecturing is a must for the learning, and also the online learning is worse and less interactive than the offline learning. Okay, but now we should change our fixed mind on lecturing. We can teach and learn better or well without lecturing. Okay, so why do we need to break fixed mind and transactions, transform our education? Okay.
Professor Lee, would
Yeah.
you please raise
Yeah. The next
make
slide.
the sound bigger on
The
your
next slide.
PC maybe?
Next slide.
Thank you.
So, okay, next and next. Next. Okay. What is the genuine the mission of our education? Here we have a good definition. However, it is nowadays claimed that we have failed to meet the genuine the mission of our the education. Okay. So McKinsey also reported such failures. Okay. Based on a survey, we universities do not teach what are really wanted by our industry and the society. Our conventional one-way lecturing is the major cause of such a failure. So here we have a critical, very uncomfortable truth. Okay, students do not really need lecturing for their real learning. Okay, so we have a big question. Okay, so why do we have such educational failures in spite of our tremendous efforts for better education? It is because our current efforts, current mass education system does not match our expectations. Why and why do we have such a mass education system? Next slide. In fact, once upon a time, such a mass education system was intentionally invented. The key was with standardization and the lecturing. Okay. Next. Now we should break many standards and fix the mindset of our mass education. Okay. Next. So we have been trying to transform our math education to quality education. We already know what to do. However, it is not so easy. It will take a long time due to our very fixed mind and strong resistance. Okay, next. So now it is the time for reinventing our education. Okay, so how to do? Nowadays, many persons are talking about the future talents we want. The set of required talents are very similar for most experts. Okay? Critical thinking, creativity, problem definition and solving, and so on. Okay. However, they are very hard to teach and difficult to evaluate their learning outcomes. Okay. More important, they are not being taught in most universities. Okay. Next. So, by the way, we already have many good innovative ways of teaching and learning to foster such future talent by maximizing uh, interactions and participations in classrooms. Okay, but the issue is how to implement them in most classes. Not easy. Okay, next. So we know long time ago, okay, we were taught by just questions and answers. In fact, the answers were just opinions and just advices, okay? Students realize the truth for themselves, okay? And make their own answers. But we gave up such best practices because of math education. At this time, we are trying to recall their method again. Okay, next. Here we have an interesting definition of a class by a great scholar in physics. You know, you see here just questions and questions and also just questions, okay? You may see a great difference from our usual class. Okay, next. So at this date, we now easily transform our lecturing into digital self-learning content. In other words, we can send out our lecturing to the internet. Okay, next. So how we can redesign and reinvent our classes, okay, by eliminating the lecturing from our classroom. Okay, that is, we can change our teaching and learning. Okay, so there we may have many different ideas. Okay, we can design our classroom, our classes very creatively. Okay, so here we have a small evidence that such new ways of teaching and learning make sense and are mostly much better. Okay, and sustainable. Now, more and more universities are accumulating a similar evidence. Okay, next. Here we have another well-known example. Professor Wyman at British Columbia compared his two different teaching methods in two parallel classes for just 1 week. Okay, so one conventional lecturing, and another one, team-based learning. Team-based learning, team-based self-learning made remarkably higher scores. Okay, next. Now we should admit, okay, we can do much better without lecturing. Lecturing should be eliminated and can be eliminated from our classroom, okay? Now we should challenge another strong belief. Online learning is not simply lecturing through internet, okay? We have many misbeliefs on the online learning. Let's think about our online education again. Okay, next slide. Next. Okay. Okay. Digitalized lectures are now being opened and shared to anyone in the internet. Okay. Next. And the lectures are also being transformed into kind of digitalized learning content by global publishers. Okay. So, professors cannot survive only depending on their conventional lectures, okay? So they should change their ways of teaching and learning, okay? Otherwise, they will perish, okay? Next. So because of a global pandemic in progress, we are now all experiencing online teaching and learning intentionally or non-intentionally, prepared or not well prepared, okay? Anyway, we are now recognizing what online learning really are and should be, okay? Next. So now it is the time for reinventing our online education, okay? Next. So most persons have claimed that online classes are worse and less interactive than offline classes. Okay? However, we have more and more counterexamples. Here we have a case at KITE which compared two parallel classes of online learning and offline lecturing. Okay, so the online class was much better in exam scores and satisfaction and retention ratio. Okay? Of course, we do more interaction and participation in online classes. We can, okay? For example, in this spring semester, I taught in online, I taught students by real-time online system using Zoom. It's an online meeting solution. The online class was more interactive, and by making lots of questions and discussions, I can identify each student's name easily, okay? Then I can call their names, okay? And I can monitor their attention. We also can do some teamwork-based assignment and presentation, okay? In fact, it was an online version of kind of flipped learning, okay? Or flipped learning. Okay, so next. So we can make online classes and learning more interactive, okay, and participative than offline classes, depending on our approach, okay? We can implement many innovative ways of teaching and learning, such as flipped learning or team-based learning or problem-based learning, even project-based learning, okay? Even in online classes, okay? Many logistic issues, such as some copying the learning materials or something like, or access to some document or access to Google and so on, okay? All these logistic issues can be easily solved, okay? Furthermore, we can make use of kind of software tools, okay? Kind of engineering tools and so on in classes, okay? It is very easy, okay? So students and teams can easily share their ideas and solutions. It's much more to monitor each student and team's activity in the future. It will be much easier to, in the future, okay, we may collect data on student participation and their activities and their progress and so on. Then we can analyze them and make real-time responses, okay? Next. Okay. So online classes can be much more immersive, okay? Experiencing and creating and collaborating and can be customized, okay? So many new educational technologies are emerging and coming into our classroom, okay? However, we need to develop a better technology and based on our real class experiences and requirements. Okay, next. So in the future, we may imagine online education will be a primary one, okay? The secondary one might be our offline learning, okay? Then what about offline universities? I think they should make real transformation and adapt to a new world, okay? Otherwise, they will not perish, okay? There are many different offline assets, okay? Once properly used, okay, can create a big synergy and values, okay? Next. Okay, so we universities, okay, should change all things, okay, including the ways of teaching and learning and professors and teachers, okay, students, okay, their mindset and their learning habits, okay, and also our university systems and profess and the educational evaluation systems, okay, and the whole educational value chain, okay. So, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lee. Think what he's talking about is like, well, things were happening. We've already had online education, but I think now is probably a good time to use some of the knowledges, know-hows that we have accumulated so far. And I think Professor Lee was the right person to show us how to do that.